what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Before we begin, I'm proud to report that our country is safer, stronger, and far wealthier than it has ever been before. We are doing great.
Welcome into the Jake Underwood Show on this Friday, July 17th, 2026. I am Jake Underwood. It is Open Lines, Ohio. We got a lot to talk about as the president, he addressed some things last night. He put some things out there, made sure that we know some information. And, if you're somebody who's been covering stuff since 2020, whether that's, on the radio and media or just independently diving into stuff, you're going, I knew it. I knew it. For 6 years, we were told we were crazy, but I knew it. I'm not crazy. All of you are, not me. We have a lot to talk about today. Of course, we're going to talk about that. And, I know some stations didn't carry it, so there might be some people who aren't aware of what's going on. I know CNN, which was expected, ABC, NBC are the two that I heard nationally that didn't carry it. Also, my understanding is some news stations here in town didn't carry it. Of course, we did. Started at 9 o'clock. But that's goofy to me. Why wouldn't you do that? I don't know. You might not respect the person, but at least respect the office. That's how that goes. Also, there's a flock camera update. An Ohio senator says enough is enough. We'll dive into that. That senator is Bernie Moreno. He also, when it comes to the wildfires, he wants to put some sanctions on Canada.
Good. Because
what's going on out there is crazy. We'll give you an update on that. And of course, we played the clip before. Oh, and also it's Open Lines Ohio, so we're going to talk whatever you want, whenever you call. That's the way that works. But yeah, I mean, the big story of the day, I don't know if people have had the time to really dive into the documents. I dove into them a little bit, but I do have some audio here to play. So, let's make sure we're set up on this end, make sure everything's good so we don't have the errors that we usually do. Let's see. Are we good to go? We were 20 minutes ago.
I think we're good to go.
All right, let's give it a try. This is President Trump last night. We have a few cuts, and we'll break them down. This is the first one.
Simple. No trust, no greatness. For many years, I've called for bold, swift, and decisive action to protect the integrity of America's elections. Every American deserves to know that when they cast their vote, that vote will be counted accurately in a system, and that is to make that system secure, one where cheating and interference are not just difficult, but virtually impossible.
Yes. I don't know anybody who disagrees with that. He must listen. Because that sounds familiar. I had people text me, like, some of it was very funny, but they're like, he must listen to your show because you say that a lot. And I'm like, well, no, I think it's just common sense at this point.
You would think it is, but it's uncommon, apparently.
But I will say this. I was very nervous at the beginning of the speech when he started with this is the greatest economy. And I'm going, oh, no, buddy, don't do this again.
No.
No.
Not a half hour of just touting your accomplishments.
Yeah, no, we need this. We need this to have some real substance here. By the way, if you're curious as to the predictions that Kenny and I made, it's a good thing we didn't put money on it. So the things we said, over under 45 minutes.
Yeah, we both said over. When it came to topics, we said it was going to be Iran 2020. Oh, okay, we did say 2020. Yeah, no, we did touch on that, and Save America Act. We got both of those.
We did not say China.
No, we didn't mention China.
We did not say China.
Nothing on birthright citizenship.
Yeah.
Not really. And nothing about buying Canada or Greenland. Nothing about
aliens.
Why?
I mean, although if there was a time to buy Canada, it's now.
Fire sale.
Yeah, buy low. Fire sale's really funny. Tie color, you said red, I said yellow.
Yeah,
it was blue. Yeah. And mention of war.
At one point, though, I did say blue tie with a red suit, but we're not going to count that.
No, I don't remember that. And then war, no.
Not really.
Yeah, neither one of us said war. That said that war was going to be mentioned. So, I mean, we got that one right.
Yeah.
So what? We're batting 500. That's what that means.
It was a total of 27 minutes.
Yeah.
So it was under 30.
Which I thought for sure this was going to turn into a here's what it is, and they were going to show it. I'm kind of glad he didn't, so people can dive into it themselves.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed that we didn't get names, that we didn't get announcement of arrests or anything. But I kind of feel like he's kind of slow rolling it.
Yeah. Well, and I've seen some people bring up different points about it, and we'll get into all that. And it's not even speculation; it's just different opinions about everything that was said. And the big announcement last night, when it comes to election interference, it involves China. It involves China, which when you compare, you add the stuff with the Wuhan lab, and now you add this. It's one of those where you're going, it almost seems like this was planned.
It almost seems like it was right in your face and obvious the entire time, but you were labeled a crazy conspiracy theorist.
No, this is all by chance that it happens to be China.
All the pieces
it's all by chance.
Start to fall into place, and you see the big picture, and you're like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was going to be.
No, that can't be it.
The pieces are all put in place, and you're looking at the big picture, and it's like, yeah, that's what's on the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was going to be. That's kind of how this is coming to play.
Yeah. And if you're curious exactly what was said, there's some stuff with election interference, potentially. I'm going to say potentially because it is all alleged.
A lot of vulnerabilities.
A lot of vulnerabilities. And that's the main thing I think needs to be taken out of this. And now is when the stuff's coming out about, well, I actually looked into this and I found this and I found this. But when it comes to the People's Republic of China, this is what the president had to say.
The People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening.
That's a lot. Really think about it, and like we said, it went about 27 minutes, so we're not going to play the whole thing. But I mean, it was implied that this was also going on in 2018. Mm-hmm. This is going back even before 2020. China was interfering with things. 220 million. The scary thing about that, there's not even 200 million registered voters in this country.
Whoa.
It's like 196. So, I mean, they have a lot. They have voter rolls. They might have poll worker. They might have all of this information. We don't know for sure. Because when he said that, I go, that's a lot of people. I don't know that many people are registered. So I looked it up. It's like, I think it was for the 2020 election, I think it was 194 or 196. It was right around there. So that means they have a lot of stuff.
That means they have do whatever they want when they want.
That means, when it comes to looking at information, allegedly, I don't want to sit here and just, say it like it's complete fact. I haven't looked over the files, and there's a lot. There is a lot. Mm-hmm. I was going through some of them last night, just kind of skimming through. There's a lot, and a lot of it's unredacted, meaning that maybe the names the names are always going to be redacted. That's just the way that they do it. But the information that's there is not, and there's a lot of it. CIA, studies, just different things. We have to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue talking about this because President Trump's talking about shadow governments. He's talking about how we're going to investigate it. He's saying that what the documents show, just how many non-citizens may have been voting in just the states that turned over the voter roll. So all of this is coming to light. We're going to take a break. We'll continue to break this down when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, we're on Rumble, we're on YouTube. Next week we might be on Facebook. We'll see. I'm going to run some tests on that. We'll find out.
Yeah,
sure. Excuse me. On this, today it is Open Lines Ohio, so we're talking whatever you want, whenever you call. But I really want to hear your opinion on the stuff that came out last night. And, of course, today is July 17th, 2026. It's still hazy, smoky. Okay, now the weather update. We had a little monitor in here. It does say smoke.
Oh.
So that's good. Only took a day. That's all right. It was saying fog yesterday.
They had to register.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then we're also going to talk about all of that as well. It's a Friday. We jump around a little bit, but, it all comes back to open lines. We talk whatever you want, whenever you call. We do have somebody waiting. So if you want to join the queue, the number's 216-901-0945. Let's talk to Jim. Jim, you're in the air.
Morning, Jake.
Good morning.
Kenny. There's 6 or 7 counties that decide an election in this country. And he was referring, I believe, to Hammer's scorecard. It was this guy, this Montgomery guy, he was sitting between Clapper and Brennan, in 2003, and he developed this software after 9/11 to go after boogeymen,
Mm-hmm.
So they were using it for nefarious reasons. In 2000, a little after that, before Obama they probably used it to get Obama in too, but he was the whistleblower. He developed it. He developed this software, and so this guy's name is Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
In the Constitution, Article 2, Section 1, it says the electors send in a sealed envelope to the President of the Senate. That would be Mike Pence.
Mm-hmm.
It's not to be put on the Internet over air. So that's when the nefarious stuff gets hacked into. They shouldn't do that. They should have closed elections. So Obama, Clinton, or Cruella de Vil, this deep state will not get thrown in jail, but they will throw Donald Trump in jail. They will. And the book was Mary Flannery, Beyond Treason. It was held up for a year and a half after the 2020 election, because they didn't want that coming out.
Well, but real quick, Jim.
Along with all the...
President Trump is saying this was going on in 2018, too. This even dates back to 2018.
It goes way back.
Yeah.
It goes back to when this Hammer scorecard was developed in 2000.
Right, but Jim, what I'm saying is they actually have proof that it's happened in 2018, so as they go further back, we'll find out. But, I mean, it wasn't just 2020, which we all knew that, but what I'm saying now, it's not just a documentary that's telling us that, because the documentary can't be used in court. Right? A documentary can't be used to prosecute someone, but fact can and documents can.
They had facts flowing in like a fire hose. And guess what? They locked up Giuliani. They locked up Sidney Powell. They locked up Mike Flynn. They locked up a whole bunch of people because they wanted to bring this stuff forward. So the media won't cover it. The commies won't believe it. And look what happened on Obama's last days in office with this warfare. And I'm sorry to get, all ticked off. I've known this for years.
Well, yeah, Jim, I think, and I agree with you. I mean, we're all frustrated about it, but I know I've said this before, and I caught some flack for it. We needed a moment like this where the documents were actually here. Here they are. This is stuff that could be used in court. You can actually talk about this, because saying, well, you got to watch that documentary. Yeah, it does a lot of good, but that's opinionated fact, because that documentary, I could turn around and go, well, Michael Moore said this and press play. So the documentary stuff, yeah, it does a good job shedding light on things, but like I said, it's opinionated fact. Whereas with this is actual documents spelling out what has happened and what we knew was going on the entire time, and that they knew.
Or what we didn't know
they
either,
had
because
proof. They locked up Rudy Giuliani. They locked up Sidney Powell. They locked up Flynn. They had all the proof.
Was it public, Jim? No, it wasn't public. Thank you for the call, Jim. It wasn't public. It wasn't released like this is. It wasn't released like it is now where we have access to it. Because somebody said it in a documentary, you can't use that in court. That's what I'm telling you. You can't use that in court.
Relax. You're letting Jim get to you.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not, because I've had this discussion with numerous people where they go, yeah, but they knew. Where was the proof that they knew? Well, they locked him up. What does that mean? We needed the proof. We needed the actual documents there in front of us. Now we have it. But we want to talk about it like we don't have it still. It's right there in front of you. Dive into it. Start pointing it out so people have it. Instead of going, well, I knew. Did you? Show me in the documents where you knew so then I can carry that argument. Well, I knew. Okay. All right.
I think most of us knew.
Yeah, we knew, but we needed the proof of it.
That's the thing.
And now we got it.
And Trump wasn't given the proof either. That's
the craziest part of the entire thing.
They were withholding from his daily briefings information. They were withholding information from him and us and the American people. They were withholding information from the president. That's probably the most damning part of all of this.
That's the part that really blew my mind about all of it, is that he didn't know. Mm-hmm. And that they weren't telling him.
And
like,
honestly,
how dare you? How like, I mean, the stones that takes.
Yeah.
Like, there's a real sense of entitlement with some of the people in this government that are going to sit here and act like, oh, well, we don't have to tell him that. Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, he's the duly elected president of the United States. He needs that information.
Right.
That information it goes to him first and foremost.
Right. All right, let's dive back into what President Trump was saying last night. Here he starts talking about the investigations moving forward, what we're seeing, and what's to come.
But the findings are stunning. Today I'm asking the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the CIA to investigate how and why such crucial information was hidden, to fire those involved in the cover-up, and to file criminal charges, if appropriate, against these people. Yet concealing China's meddling was only the beginning. The third set of documents we are releasing proves that for many years, Americans were blatantly lied to about the security of our election infrastructure, including electronic voting machines and ballot counting systems, dishonest, almost all. They're vulnerable and they're easily compromised, and people within our government knew that.
It's crazy listening to that, because you don't want to think that that's true, but you know that there were people that are there, and look, President Trump he implies that they're still there. That's why he's saying we need to investigate this. We need to look into it. Those people that withheld the information, they need to be fired. He's right. They absolutely do. How? I can't even. I cannot wrap my head around the fact that they would sit there and they just wouldn't tell the president that this stuff's going on, knowing that this is one of the things that he ran on. They would withhold this information I would be curious to find out who told him, who finally was like, sir, here it is.
We've heard stories for months now about the burn bags that they found.
Well, yeah, and that's I
imagine a lot of this was in the
I'm so happy that was confirmed.
Yeah.
Because I've heard about that and I've talked about it, and the whole time I'm going, until he says it, mm-hmm. It's speculation. Mm-hmm. It is. I know we could go, yeah, but I know. And I understand that you know. But I'm saying as talking about it here, it's speculation. But now it's proven. It's out there. Like we can say we saw it on Twitter and all these different things, but that doesn't necessarily make it true. This does. This tells us what we needed to know. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue to talk about this. TJ, I'm going to get to you as soon as we come back from break. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch us on Rumble. We're on X. We're on YouTube. When you search the Jake Underwood Show, it is Friday. It is July 17, 2026, which means it's Open Lines Ohio. We'll talk whatever you want, whenever you call. And right now we're talking, we're doing a little bit of a review / breakdown of what President Trump had to say last night because, you know, maybe you didn't know.
It's the post-game show.
It's the post-game show. But maybe you didn't know because not all networks carried it, which is still very odd to me.
It's crazy.
Like CNN, I understand. It would be the same thing if President Biden spoke and Fox didn't carry it. I'd go, okay.
It's a cable news network.
Right.
It's not the public airwaves. I get it.
Yeah. Like, it'd be one of those where it's like, I don't necessarily agree, but I get it. I understand that. But like NBC, ABC, you guys got to carry this stuff. I mean, the president's speaking. What if hypothetically last night there was a declaration of war?
Or anything.
Or,
I mean, whatever. I mean, this was big enough.
Right.
You know?
That's true.
The American people deserve to know this, and for you to withhold it from them, I mean, yeah, they can always just go to Rumble or whatever.
Well, you know what? It goes to show that old way. I don't know how this is going to go over with me saying this on air here, but that old way of doing news, it's dead.
Yeah.
That because I'm guessing that those networks were looking at that and they went, I mean, if they really want to watch it, they go online.
Yeah.
And there's going to be that I think there's a lot of media companies that go about it that way.
But the problem is that almost everyone has internet nowadays.
Yeah.
But not everyone does, or access to it, or whatever. You know, so some people just have their antenna, and they use the public airwaves.
Right. Well, especially if you live in Harlem, they don't have internet there.
Yeah, apparently.
Yes. No. Kamala Harris told us that. Nobody has IDs. Yeah. You can't get internet there. Computers confuse people.
Yeah.
And I don't even think. They can't drive. They get so confused. They see a car. They go, "What's that?"
I would argue what ABC and NBC did last night by not airing it was racist.
You know what, Kenny? Well, you're not wrong. Let's talk to TJ. TJ, you're in the air.
Yeah, watching last night, we all knew what Trump said. I mean, this wasn't a surprise to us. But you hit it on the head. If you have smoking gun proof, you got to use it.
Yeah.
And until you started prosecuting and incarcerating people, this is a big nothing burger.
Yep.
And, Trevisano said it the best years ago. You want to stop voter fraud, start putting people in jail. But I want to wait to see if people are going to be actually pulled into court with this evidence. And then there's another problem we're aware of. Even if you have the evidence, you bring some of these people into court, will a leftist jury let them walk? Great possibility.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen in a lot of blue areas. So I don't know. I mean, if I was to have a solution to this problem, I'd say if this stuff is true, we have the evidence. This is likened to treason, what these people did.
Absolutely, it is.
It should be handled with a military tribunal.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, if they are found guilty, it is treason. There's no other way to put it. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, and one other quick point. I know a lot of people with changing the subjects are against the AI, but look who's behind the negative AI, China. Just follow them on TikTok and stuff. Who's putting the money into put a negative spin on AI in America? China. Why? Because they want to do all the building. So I hope people just remember that before they start throwing AI into the garbage here, in the States.
Yeah. But TJ, thank you for the call. And that's a good point. I mean, I'm still not a fan of the AI data centers. I think 50 years from now, you need farmland and water more than you need storage for flock camp. I keep doing that for photos. But Liz, he's right when he says that. China is behind a lot of that negativity when it comes to that. It's not behind my negativity. I'm just gonna.
Wait, you're not in China's pocket.
I'm not in China's pocket. No, not in China's pocket.
Deep State Jake's not in China's pocket.
No, that's still that might be the best text of all time we got yesterday with that guy. I forgot who texted him, but they said Deep State Jake is very funny. Oh, that's really good. Let's see. Let's go to George in Ohio City. George, you're in the air.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well.
Couple points. the establishment media didn't carry it because they're already twisting it. New York Times, AP. Trump took this to court 60 times and he lost. The Russians were backing, as it could be easily demonstrated in 2016 and 18, they were backing Trump, and they were, sabotaging efforts to, make him look bad or whatever. But so those are their twists on why they didn't carry it or their negative coverage, how they're going to be spinning it. But my criticism of Trump is sort of a segue to the China situation. Every time he meets with Xi, Xi's a great guy. Xi's a good leader. Same thing when he meets with Mandami. Great guy. We just disagree. No, Mandami's, if he could take over the country, he'd murder all of us or arrest us and put us in gulags. Xi is not a good guy. He's our sworn enemy. President Trump, stop that nonsense. Because the young people who are impressionable and don't know much because they don't read a lot. Trump says, Mandami, he's a pretty good guy. Socialism might be pretty good. That kind of nonsense. So President Trump, please stop that. And my final comment to Norm is about treason. There was a book written in 1964 called None Dare Call It Treason. And that statement came from a quote of an English statesman in the 1600s. Reason doth never prosper. What's the reason? For if it prosper, none dare call it treason. Thank you.
George, thank you for the call. Yeah,
good point. I mean, I understand that up until this point, there was still, you wanted to play nice in a way. So I understand, the pleasantries with a foreign leader. I understand. He's a good guy. He's trying to work out deals. He's not going to come out here and badmouth him as he's trying to work out a deal.
Right.
I mean, look how well that's going with Iran.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I understand that. But up until this point now, from this point on, now that this has been made public and proof and all this has been put together and it's been made public, now, I mean, that needs to change.
And that's what I'm saying. We have the documents now. We have it in black and white where we can actually, it's not because this was the hardest part for me when talking about the election fraud and everything, because they'd go, well, where's the proof? Well, if you go to, no, where's the proof? Well, yeah, no, they really, no. And it's like, ooh, you, okay. But now you have it where you can go, well, the government actually released this. This was released in a study by the CIA talking about how this happened and this happened. And so now you could take a look. Whether or not you want to believe it, that's completely up to you.
Yeah,
but now it's at least laid out that you could look at it and read it for yourself.
Up until this point, we had just what we saw with our own eyes and trying to decipher. Because, I mean, I remember middle of the night, what was it, Wisconsin, out of nowhere. After they stopped counting, out of nowhere, there was that jump of like 100 million for Biden and like 1,000 for Trump. Right. And it's like that right there needed to be investigated instantly,
right.
And proof needed to be found there and exposed, and then everywhere else. I mean, they did that in so many different states, where they just stopped counting, and then out of nowhere, here's a big ballot dump.
Yeah, somehow they were counting, but they weren't counting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Somebody texted in this from Don in Lakewood. He said, at this point, the main question to ask is how are left-wing politicians and the media going to spin Trump's claims as false, fabricated lies, etc.? Because we know that's what's coming. Mm-hmm. There had better been enough solid evidence stacked up to prevent this, or we will end up with egg on our faces again. That's from Don in Lakewood, and I think that's well said. So I think if I have to really think about it, the way they're going to spin this, and we'll get into it more after the break. Don't forget, it is Open Lines Ohio. The number 216-901-0945 to call in to talk about this or whatever you want. It's Open Lines Ohio. But I think the way they're going to spin this is they're going to say that he's still bitter because he lost. And that's why he's doing this. And we'll get more into that. It's going to be crazy, the stuff that they claim. We'll get into that when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer 102.9 FM. It is Friday, which means it's Open Lines Ohio. The date is July 17th. I almost said January 17th. That wouldn't be it. Complete opposite, actually. July 17th in the beautiful year that is 2026 in the greatest Cleveland area. We have a text on the text line from our friend from Liberty Valley Church, Dennis Polk. He says, per the rules of evidence, one of the best forms of proof are official government documents signed by the officer in charge of the production of said documents. Data, statistics, or statements of witness gathered by authorities in charge of investigations are also excellent sources and acceptable proof in the court of law. And that's what we needed. This entire time, that's what we needed. That's what, because we could sit here and say that we know all day, but until we have the proof in our hand that we can actually give to someone, it's the argument. It's just that. It's an argument.
You're yelling in the wind.
Right. And now we're not yelling in the wind. Well, maybe, but not as much as we were until we really dive into it all.
Well, but the wind died down a little bit, so
at the very least, yeah. Now it's just a bunch of smoke outside. We didn't have a smoking gun. We have smoking air. Let's go to Dale in Parma Heights. Dale, you're in the air.
Good morning. First comment is I heard, but you can ask Senator Marino for sure, that the federal government passed a law banning states from opting out on data centers. So you could ask Senator Marino if that's true or not.
Okay.
And then the other comment is about the Chinese president.
Mm-hmm.
We have a 1-year agreement with them for them to supply us with rare earth minerals, and there's only a few months left on it. So we're using that time to get our own rare earth mineral operation going. So you don't want to talk too bad about the guy. He could cancel it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. No, Dale, I forgot about that. Thank you. Thank you for the call and have a great weekend. I forgot about that. That was the big one of the big agreements made.
Well, I'm saying that's one thing too. Like with all this with China, we're not going to war with China. We're not doing that. Let's get that out of the head. We need to deal with them differently. And especially when it comes to trade.
Right.
From this point forward, we need to be less reliant on them. Secure our own factories and manufacturing here. That's going to take time. We can't just do that overnight.
Right. Well, and it's funny because I hear it in his voice. We talk to Donovan Mitchell every Wednesday, and he always says that, Jake, we didn't get into this mess overnight, so we can't get out of it overnight.
Yep.
And whenever I start to get frustrated about stuff like, you just mentioned with we got to create opportunities here, because that's one of my biggest, that's what we got to do. And I hear Donovan O'Neill from American for Prosperity, his voice will pop in my head. Well, Jake, we didn't get into this mess overnight, so we can't get out of it, overnight. It's going to take some time. And I just go, no, that's right. Yeah. That's right. So let's get back to what President Trump was saying. We've been talking about the documents because we need them. That's what we need for actual proof, because we could sit here and say, but my favorite commentator said, and they said on Fox, and they said on, and they, but that doesn't mean anything when it comes to the courts. Like I said, I wish you could just take a documentary into court and go, I would like you to watch 15 minutes and 45 seconds, press play. See? And that would be, it would make a lot of things easier. But as I said.
What a clown show that would be.
Well.
I mean, come on.
Listen, and we'll talk about it.
If we could do that, so could they.
Right. Well, and that's just it. That's just it. You have to remember, everything we want or can do, they can do the same. It's equal that way. As much as people want to, and that's why it's so funny to me when people claim that this country isn't fair. Well, it is. It actually is, because everything one side can do, the other side can also do. Let's get back into what President Trump was saying. We're going to talk about, this is where he starts to break down what the documents show, which that's the most important part. We know what happened. Do we know how it happened? Now we might have a better idea. This is what the president had to say last night.
The documents state that some canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to their number of applications that they produced. In other words, It was pay, play, and cheat. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow-walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to work with the Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes.
Wow. So real quick, that's super illegal. Like, that's not just a little illegal. That's super illegal. You know, there are some states where, like, as a canvasser, if for a campaign or whatever it might be, you can't even offer water to the volunteers. Mm-hmm. You can't even, like, or to somebody who's signing, to get something on the ballot or to support a candidate, you can't even offer, like, a sticker because that's considered almost a bribe. Like, it's really that strict in some of these states. So when you have people, and to what the president is saying here, you have people that are actually admitting where they're going, yeah, no, we signed, hey, yeah, we gave gift cards. Gift cards? That's insane, because at that point, and listen, you have some people that when they sign the petitions, they're doing like I believe in the choice. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, why not? Like, I've had that where I've been out, trying to get signatures, and they're like, what's it for? And you say the candidate, or, you say the reason, and they're like, I don't know that you stand a chance, but yeah, I'll sign. I believe in democracy. And I'm like, all right, well, thank you. That's cool.
I've actually done that before.
Yeah, where you're just like, yeah, screw it, why not? But, you're going to have those people that go, no, absolutely not. But if you're walking up to somebody and you go, hey, I got a $25 Target gift card here if you sign, that's crazy.
No, what I think that was the people who were getting the signatures were getting the gift cards. That's what it sounded like to me.
Okay. Well, see,
so they were filling out fraudulent information.
See, I understood it as both ways. I thought it was they were filling it out and getting gift card, plus giving the people that were signing gift cards to sign.
That may be.
Man. Whew. Listen, I know we do the Fauci files, which we'll have part 3 next week. We might have to start doing the China files.
The election files.
Yeah, the election files. There's so much. I'm not exaggerating. First of all, I knew it was going to be a lot when it was a zip folder.
Yeah.
Which means there's a lot of information in there. And I opened it up, and I saw like 20, 25 different things, and that was just for one. And I went, oh, boy. Yeah, no, they're giving it to us. They're letting us see. And I mean, I worked in media at the time all that happened. I knew it was fraudulent. It was one of those where we're just looking into stuff. She's an independent journalist. Tracy Beans is her name. She's on X. Worked with her at Maha Action. Incredible reporter. But last night she also put out, she's like, that first 6 months, I was working 19 to 20 hours a day looking into this stuff. And it's about time it's out there. Because that was another one where, yeah, we can connect the dots. But if we don't have the documents where we could say, here it is. Look at it. Read it. Whether or not you want to believe it, okay. But here's the proof at the very least. Here it is saying that this is what's going on. And that's big. That's a big deal. And also it's a big deal for history. Because now you're going to have people that look back 10, 15 years from now that maybe weren't even alive when that happened. And they go, I keep hearing about this. Or I hear my dad or my grandpa talk about this. And what I'm being told in school is completely different. Let me look into this. Mm-hmm. Let me see what was actually said. And then they can look at it for themselves and they can decipher. They can figure out what it is they believe. That's the main thing with this. It's laying out the evidence and it's allowing the American people to look at it and go, do I believe this or do I not? Now, the media spin is going to be crazy on it. And I know I said we were going to talk about it this time. We got a little sidetracked. We'll talk about it definitely when we come back because you know what they're going to turn this into. Trump's a deranged old man. He's confused. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He and his buddies are trying to prove that they didn't lose, but we all know that he did. He, ho, ho, ho. Like, that's what it's going to turn into. And it's going to backfire on them. And I'm going to tell you how it's going to backfire on them when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to get a check on news, and we'll be back right after this.
lines matter. But what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into hour number 2 of the Jake Underwood Show on this Open Lines, Ohio. It is Friday. It is July 17th, 2026. We're breaking down what happened last night with President Trump with his announcement, but we're also going to talk about some other things. They found out what is causing the diarrhea parasite. They found out, and we will talk about that because it's actually something here locally. It's affecting Michigan, Kentucky, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Indiana.
I think I saw West Virginia as well.
Good old West by God. West Virginia as well. And so we're going to tell you that. I'll give you a hint. Don't eat Taco Bell. And that's not a joke. That's not a joke. I wish that was a bit. It's not a joke. We'll dive more into that. But right now we're talking about President Trump, the big the big speech last night, the big announcements that were made last night. And if you're just joining us, it's been now, and we've known there's been some election interference. If you talk to somebody who's left-leaning, they say Russia in 16. And then if you talk to somebody who's right-leaning, they say 2020, it was Russia plus the voting machine. They have the whole list. Well, last night we were told it's all of that, maybe not so much Russia, but definitely China. China's involved in this. And this is the big push for, at the end of this, the call to action, I'll say, was President Trump going, we need to pass the SAVE Act. Now, I wish the SAVE Act was a standalone bill again by itself, especially after this, because then they could pass it through. We'll see what happens because it's part of the defense bill now. There are some people that don't like things that are going on in the defense bill, so we'll see what happens. But the SAVE Act needs to be passed. That's an 80-20 issue, might even be higher now. Mm-hmm. And the reason why I say that is because, and President Trump spoke about it last night, I'll let the president explain it. This is President Trump talking about just how many non-citizens are registered to vote. And this isn't throughout the entire country because a lot of states didn't hand over that data. This is President Trump speaking about that.
According to the DHS review of state voter rolls and public records, they identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files, the real number is actually much higher than that. Yet, even this limited analysis found more than 250,000 foreigners illegally registered to vote.
Well.
I thought that didn't happen.
Yeah, I thought that was impossible. I thought that was impossible. There's no way that happened. And now, when you hear that, and then you add it to the fact that that the People's Republic of China has 220 million voter files of United States voters, of people that are registered. Yeah, they probably, you know what? It's probably way more than that because they have all the information. They can make the fake IDs, and what I'm saying right now is speculation, but I'm connecting dots. This is the way that it would make sense to me, and the way that they would be able to do what they want to do with it. They're going to be able to then take that information, walk into wherever, if they don't have voter ID, just walk into wherever and say, I'm John Smith, I live at this street, yes, I want to vote. And then they get to go do it.
Yeah.
Because how are they going to verify? That's the main thing with the voter ID. It's to verify that you are who you say you are and that you're allowed to vote. That's what it comes down to. Excuse me. So how about that? The cough button works, huh?
Yeah,
hey,
look at that.
Look at Greek.
You remembered.
Look at
Good
that.
job.
I did remember. But so now what we're looking at is the fact that the CCP has access to over 220 million. Now, remind you, there's 194 around there registered voters or voters that took part in the 2020 election. Okay, and I know that's the election that people go, well, that was the goofy one. Well, that's why I'm letting you know, 220 million voter files to the CCP, and there's no telling how they're going to use that. But they have your name. They have your address.
Remember, 81 million people voted for Biden.
That's right.
The most ever.
Well, even more than Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And at the same time, Trump got the most votes ever as an incumbent president.
Well, you know what it was? People were just really engaged that election cycle.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
That's what it was. And then they dropped off for the next one.
Yeah, no, they didn't care after that.
Which is the argument that I saw. Oh, okay, well, so the 2024 election wasn't stolen, but the 2021 was.
That's right.
It's like, yeah, actually, yeah, that's what happened. Look at the numbers. Look at how many people allegedly voted in 2020 compared to every other election that we've had. Yeah, and the fact that we made it too big to rig.
Yeah.
We legitimately made it too big to rig.
And that's a really important part to remember. They did not expect President Trump to get as many votes as he did. They didn't expect the unity party. They didn't expect the uniting behind him after the assassination attempt, which was, 2 years ago? What was that, 4 days ago?
Yeah, everything they threw at him bounced off, and it just made him stronger. They tried to put him in jail. His polling numbers went up. Someone tried to take him out several times, couple of times.
Right.
And his numbers just kept increasing.
Well, and even more so than that, yeah, his numbers went up, but it fortified that support from us. Mm-hmm. It made us go, we got to make sure this guy gets back in there. Because you had a lot of people that were going, I want somebody who's just as aggravated as I am at the government and to hold them accountable for what they did. And President Trump is that person. Especially at that point in time, he was that guy. I mean, they tried taking him out. They tried doing all this wacky stuff to him, to put it nicely.
Changing laws to try to throw him in jail. What are you doing?
Yeah, just all the different things that happen. And President Trump, he got all of that support. It was there. They were ready to go. And that's why he won as handedly as he did. That's why he got the popular vote. Plus, he won the college, and it was by a lot. Mm-hmm. Because look, I think for a lot of people, they just assume that, okay, when it comes to the popular vote, yeah, Democrats probably going to get that because you got New York, you got L.A. A lot of people live there. So, yeah, they're going to get that. So when a Republican gets the popular vote, that's actually a really big deal.
Huge.
That really goes to show that people were very unhappy with the Biden administration and the Democratic Party, which I know to you, hearing that, you're going to go, well, oh, really? Well, yeah, but you got to remember, they have a lot of support. They have a lot of the blue no matter who. And I mean, think about the stuff that people will defend. It's absolutely, it's just crazy, some of the stuff that they defend. So, yeah, when you realize that a Republican also won the popular vote, that's a big deal. And so when you look at 2020 compared to 24, and now we have the documents there to back up everything we believed happened, I want to see people arrested. I want those court cases to be public. I want there to be actual questions, not just Hillary Clinton sitting down, giggling and laughing like she did with the Epstein file questions, or Bill staring at photos of him and Jeffrey Epstein going, oh, I remember that.
Yeah, reminiscent.
Like, yeah. I know. I want an actual court case. And if they're innocent, let them prove that they are innocent. And if they are guilty, let the government prove that they are guilty. We need an actual court case here and to lay out everything so we know what was going on, how it happened, when it happened, and who did it. That's what we need.
Real quick, I think you misspoke there.
Did I?
Yeah. You said let them prove that they're innocent. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty. But
No. I did not misspeak there because because there were a lot of people that believe that they are guilty. So let them prove that they're not. I'm not saying in the court. I'm saying in the court of public opinion.
Okay.
But an actual court case, yeah, they're innocent until proven guilty. But to us, we got the stuff here. We've watched the documentaries. We've connected the dots, or what we believe are the dots. So show us that you're innocent. Because if we cannot believe in election integrity in this country, then it's just going to fall apart. Because no matter who wins, you're going to have the group that goes, not my president. I'm not going to listen to them. I'm going to go protest. It's just going to keep continuing. Somebody needs to be held accountable. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to go to break. We'll continue talking about this a bit. I'll play the last clip that I have, what President Trump said last night. It is Open Lines Ohio. Feel free to call in, 216-901-0945. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420 The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch us. We're on Rumble, we are on X, and we are on YouTube. We will have an after show today. I forgot to say that earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we will have an after show today. So that's right there on Rumble. Just head over to Rumble, watch that, and we just continue the stream on from there. Yeah, we usually go about 30 minutes.
Roughly. It's about 12, 10 after 12 we usually start it.
Yeah.
We get up, stretch our legs, take care of.
And then we go until we get hungry.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
That's usually how that goes.
We try to sit there and keep you entertained while you eat lunch, but then eventually we have to eat lunch.
Right.
So.
And so, yeah, that'll be on Rumble after the show, hence why it's called the After Show. See how that works? Marketing.
Creative.
Right. So, yeah, we're breaking down what President Trump had to say last night, because not all the networks carried it. We did here. We carried it here, 9 o'clock start time, just saying.
Why? Like, how do you not carry this?
Well, because you had the speculation of everything. And it was just goofy because they had to do the speculation of it all. And it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire on them. And this is what I said. I'm going to bring up the points now. So there are two things that really the media is not taking into consideration because they are just used to the stranglehold. And you know what? To be fair, it's even some of the independent media people, like a Candace Owens, the quote unquote truth seekers, the people that are fighting evil. Those people that they feel like they have such a hold on people that they can do whatever they want to do. They can say whatever they want to say, and they believe that people are just going to hold on to them no matter what. But I'm going to explain something here. Eventually, that starts to work against them. And the reason why is because people rebel in general. It's in their human nature, especially here in America. That's what we do. We just rebel against everything. Even if it's a good thing, we question it.
Absolutely.
And and sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing it. That's just something that we do. So eventually, with these media empires, or like I said, the Candace Owens, the Nick Fuenteses, which by the way, if you know anybody who watches Nick Fuentes, he sits there, he talks about how he's just this right-wing kind of guy. He calls himself a socialist, and he did a podcast with Hunter Biden, by the way. Just going to put that out there. But eventually, it's gonna continue to work against them because you can't sit there and talk about how the establishment is bad, but your establishment. That's what you are. And it's been proven time and time again. Eventually people are going to start seeing through you really seem to be lopsided. You really seem to be supporting one side over the other. That's why I try to be as fair as possible here. I really do. Like if something just outlandish is being reported or said, I look into it. If it's true, then I'm like, what is going on? I'm mostly with Graham Plattner. What was that guy, huh? But or even locally. But the issue is this, like, look at Cleveland.com. And I'm not just going to start bashing Cleveland.com. They do some good things. They do a good job covering stuff. Now, you have to sit there and decipher it. It's like it's the Da Vinci Code. You got to turn this and poke this and hope something pops out. But you can find the facts in it when you read through it. But look at the way, people my age all the way up to people older than me. They hear Cleveland.com and it's either, oh boy, it's not what it used to be. Or it's, I don't read Cleveland.com. But you have those hardened supporters that sit there and no matter what, they're going to support it. And yeah, you're going to have that small pocket of people that no matter what is said, they are going to back establishment, media. They're always going to because they were raised on it. And then their parents were raised on it. And, I hear it all the time. It's not like it used to be, the days of, Walter Cronkite. Yeah, they were probably lying to you back then, too. Sorry to tell you that. But they were probably lying to you back then, too. That's what we're seeing here.
It was probably a little more covert.
Yeah.
I don't think it was in your face as much. It was as far as opinion. They may have shaped a story back in the day. I remember watching the news back in the day, and for the most part, it was fact. Fact. Here's what happened. And maybe the way they said it may have put a spin on it,
right,
but not like it is now.
And that's fair. I'll give you that because that's a good point that you bring up. But the spin was always there.
Well, the spin was always there, but at least they I don't know if I want to say, at least they pretended it wasn't. You
Right.
know, nowadays, like, they don't even care.
Well,
they
yeah,
don't
because
even care.
this is actually point number 2, with why it's going to backfire, because they don't even try anymore. They don't even try. The spin's there. They know the spin is there. In fact, they brag about how the spin is there. And that's just going to backfire. People want news. And when I say that, they want the facts of what's going on. They don't want your opinion all the time. Like I say it all the time when I talk to people. Our logo here, it says news, opinion, insight. We report the news, offer an opinion, you offer insight. Or we can, or you offer your opinion and we offer insight. But that first thing there is news. And that's fact. That's what needs to be reported. Is the facts of it, the news of it. Like the next segment, we're going to break down the stuff that's going on with Taco Bell. It's the craziest thing when you really think about it. But that's the news. Then we'll offer opinion and insight. And Open Lines Ohio, you can offer your insight and opinion. I mean, that's what this is. And people are starting to realize that again. Yeah, podcasts are great, and they have their place. They really do. But actual news, people miss that. They want to know what's going on. They want to be able to be informed and understand what exactly is happening, and they just want to hear the facts. People could put their own spin on it. I could go to Walmart right now, buy a $15 microphone and a $30 board, and I can offer you whatever, and I could become a truth seeker. Anybody could do that now. But news, actual news, where you're able to put your opinion aside and just tell people what's going on and add little to no spin to it, that's becoming the rare thing now. Where 20 years ago it was rare, and that's why you had the Bill O'Reillys of the world, or the Glenn Becks, or Keith Olbermann if you're on the other side, Larry King even. That was rare. Now that's commonplace. Anybody can claim to be an expert on something and then go speak somewhere. We see it each and every day. And then, what do? They set up a camera and they go, I am now the expert on everything. And people believe it and they go along with it. But that's going to start backfiring. People don't want the spin. They want the news. They want to know what's going on because people can think for themselves. And that's where this is going to backfire on media. Now you're going to immediately go, yeah, but I know this guy who, yeah, not everyone. I'm not talking about the small little pockets of people that want to sit there and grandstand because, they're the white knight, liberal who's going to stand there and grandstand for everyone while being really racist, but they will never realize it because sometimes you just can't get through to people. And that's when you say, nice catching up with you.
Yeah.
Good talking to you. Yep. Have a great day. But that wall's already starting to crumble a little bit. The cracks are showing now, especially with how this is going to backfire. Now there's actual documentation that people can look at. I don't think we realize how important that is. Like, it's easy for us to sit here and go, yeah, well, we knew about it. Well, yeah, I could have told you that. Well, could you? Probably. Did you have proof of it? No. Now we do. So the moment people start looking into this, because what's going to happen? Now, the news networks, they might be smart about it. They might say nothing about it at all, but they can't do that. No. They're going to have to talk about it and just talk about how crazy he is. And eventually people are going to go, well, how crazy is this stuff that he's putting out? And then they're going to start to read it, and they're going to go, well, this isn't that crazy at all. No, you know what? This actually adds up. This kind of makes sense. It was the same with the wiretapping stuff during the Obama administration. I mean, they were wiretapping Republicans, Democrats, anybody who disagreed. There was a wiretap going on. And at first, what did everybody say? Oh, that's crazy. You can't say that they're wiretapping people. And what came out a few years later? Oh, wow, look at these documents. Wow, President Trump, Dennis Kucinich, Rick Perry was another one. Like, you just go through all these different names. You're going, wow, all of these people were wiretapped by the administration. It didn't matter left, right, center. They were listening. That's wow. And what did that do? That backfired. It's going to backfire on them about this. It might not. It might be a year from now. It could be next week. But it's going to backfire. People are going to start holding that media accountable. And I think we're seeing it. That's why the ratings are going down for a lot of these networks. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue to talk about this a little bit because it is Open Lines Ohio. That means we talk whatever you want whenever you call. That number is 216-901-0945. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're also on X, Rumble, YouTube. Just search the Jake Underwood Show. You can see behind the scenes what we're doing here during the show with the live stream. Cameras on one of us at all times.
Yeah.
That's how that works. It is Friday. It's July 17th, 2026. It's Open Lines Ohio, so that means you call in. We talk whatever you want whenever you call. 216-901-0945. We do have some text to get to. Let's see. First, in the Rumble, Ben 10 Mort said, I like to hear what's going on in the world. I like to hear both sides of the argument when possible. And that's where the legacy media is missing the mark. There are a lot of people who are like that, where they want to, whether it's to react and go, well, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, or to go, all right, well, that's interesting that they think that way. Either way, they want to hear both sides of it. That's why Scott Jennings is so popular on CNN. Mm-hmm. Because for the people on the right, it's, well, he's making the arguments that I wish I could make to these people. What a noble, noble cause. And on the left, they're going, well, this guy's an idiot. I can't stand him. Oh, my goodness, right? They lose their minds.
Come in with facts.
How dare you come in and ruin my little echo chamber? I don't like your echoes. They start freaking out about stuff. But either way, there's a few reasons why legacy media needs to hop on that. Well, one, it's good for ratings. It's very good for ratings. And two, it gets people engaged. They're going to like, click, and retweet. Because either they're going to say this is the stupidest thing ever, or wow, he makes a good point here. You'll have the floating head in the video where they go, they made a good point, and then they point up to the person as they're talking, which I can't stand those videos, even though I'm probably going to have to start making those soon. Yay.
But why wouldn't
social media, everyone.
Why wouldn't you want to open up your audience to everyone?
You would think, that's just it. Like it's the equivalent of, let's say, Browns tickets. Browns are playing the Steelers this weekend. Only Browns fans can buy tickets. They're the only ones that can watch the game in our stadium and our network. No, that's not the way that works. They're trying to make as much money as they get. Well, Browns may not be a good example because the Browns will milk every penny they can out of anybody. But you understand the point. These networks, they limit themselves into the who, the whats, and wheres of what they're doing. So it's not appealing to everyone. And so that's when you have the people that watch these networks and they say whacked out stuff. I don't think these networks realize it looks bad on you when they go, well, I watch CNN and I know that Donald Trump is starting concentration camps. And it's like, excuse me, what? What are you talking about? Well, he wants all the gays to die. Who said that? That's the craziest thing when people say stuff like that to me, because at that point I feel bad for them and I go, why do you think that? No, like all jokes aside, why do you think that? Like, nobody wants you to die. What are you talking about? Like, you really think that? That's a scary place to live.
I mean, he's got
like, what?
Gay people in his administration.
But they're not like that's different. Is it? What are you talking about? Like they jump to those conclusions. They get goofy. These networks need to realize they look bad when those people are doing that. You want to talk about PR? Man.
They don't care. That's really the problem. Is they don't care how they look. The only thing they care about is getting that side of the information out there.
Yeah, that way they can get money.
Planting those seeds and feeding the lunatics. That's really what they care about. That's it.
Yeah, it's goofy. Somebody texted in and said it's a simple fix. Number 1, voting day. One voting day. Number 2, paper ballots.
Yep.
We took a simple process and created a high-tech method of unverifiable fraud. It's almost like tech shouldn't be everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's almost like we don't need it everywhere. Looking at you, AA data centers. Just saying. But no, the texter's absolutely right. We're doing this now, and I don't know why we're doing this. We're putting tech in places it doesn't necessarily have to be. Like, I mean, realistically, like, who really needs a smart TV? Nobody. Nobody needs a smart TV. It's convenient, I guess. It's kind of annoying when it doesn't work half the time. Mm-hmm. Self-checkout. We didn't need that. Like, there's a lot of things that we could look at with tech and just look at it and go, we didn't need that. Voting machines. We didn't really need that. There was nothing wrong with people counting it. The problem with AI and the problem with technology is it's only as good as the code that is designed to run it. And it only has the intent of the person who designed the code. You don't know what the intent of the person is. So I'll give an example. So as soon as Kenny, as soon as he posts the podcast, I have code that then talks about, if you missed today's episode, blah, 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 and it automatically posts to social media, automatically puts it up there. If I wanted to go in there and have it say, this is the most terrible episode ever, don't listen to it.
Don't bother.
It's still going to go up there. Why? Because it's all in the intention of the code. Now, obviously, I want you to listen to the podcast. So it's going to go, wow, on today's episode, it was a great episode of the Jake Underwood Show. Then it's going to give you the description and everything. But the reason why I say this is because it's all of the intent of the creator of the code. What's the intent? Is it good? Did they want to make these voting machines so it's easy to count? Or I don't know, did they leave a back door open that all you have to do on a Windows is go to start and then look for the option and then that pops up and then you could pick whatever county and you don't even need a password? Because that's a real thing. There's numerous videos of that. Hopefully that's in the proof. Mm-hmm. Hopefully that's in the documents, or it at least references it. I mean, the videos are all over. I actually sent one to Kenny this morning of the video where the guy's going, all you got to do is go to the start menu. Everybody knows how to do that. And I think it was Windows XP, which is even crazier. What are we doing? Although for its time, Windows XP was incredible. But anyway, so what you do is you just go there, you go to the settings. You don't even need a password to get into some of this stuff.
It's literally insane. It's crazy. And we need to stop trying to fix things that aren't broken. There's nothing wrong. That text was absolutely correct. Voting day. Paper ballots, and ID.
Yeah, listen,
three things need to happen.
Make it a federal holiday.
Whatever.
Have a parade. Everybody can dance and sing, and we'll sing Yankee Doodle Dandy all the way there. Like, we can easily do that because I don't know. The stuff with the voting and just how inconvenient people act like it is to vote. First of all, if it's that inconvenient to you, don't vote.
Yeah, don't vote.
Don't do it.
You don't have to vote. That's one of your freedoms. You don't have to vote.
But at the same time, if you don't vote, don't complain.
And there's a lot of people that I wish didn't vote.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's part of the problem with the mass mail-in ballots. Not only is it easier to commit fraud with those, but they're going out to a bunch of people that really don't care. And then that they're just sitting there, and it's sitting there on their island. They're like, let me go ahead and fill that out. Maybe I'll fill that out, But they normally don't care. And
the big one that everybody thinks of when that's said is California. Which, look, when it comes to state law, California is allowed to do that. As goofy as we might think it is, like I'm bummed Spencer Pratt didn't win. I'm bummed. I don't think it was fair at all. Mm-hmm. I think considering the support that he had, I think he should have won. But the votes were counted, and he didn't. That's the way California wants to run their elections, as dumb as it may be. That's how they do it. They're allowed to do it the way that they want to do it. The same way we do a better job of it here in the state of Ohio. Like they're allowed to do it that way.
But I think there needs to be some sort of federal guidelines that they've got to at least go by.
That's a slippery slope.
I know it is, but
because I'm going to bring it up again. Remember, if the Trump administration decides to change whatever or make sure there are federal guidelines, let's say hypothetically, if in 4 years it's the Kamala Harris or the Pete Buttigieg administration, then they can make changes to the federal laws about our elections. It's a slippery slope.
I know.
You have to remember what we do, they will do.
I know, but fear of what they might do can't allow us to not act on what we should do.
No, but the fear of opening up that door should. You can't open that door because we could say, well, it's just one minor change. But 5-10 years from now, that one minor change just turned into something, and now we don't even recognize it.
Or we could open the door before they kick it in.
Yeah, I think either way it shouldn't be done. I mean, if that's the case, you can make that argument about anything. And then that's changing everything about this country. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, like I said, it's Open Lines Ohio. We'll talk whatever you want whenever you call. If you want to call in and talk about this, we are going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to tell you what's going on with the parasite that's causing a lot of people discomfort. I'll give you the details on that. When we return, this is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch us on Rumble, X, YouTube. Search the Jake Underwood Show or go to jakeunderwoodshow.com to find all of that. We're going to do a breakdown of the files that were released. So we got the I'm going to do a lot of reading. We're going to have part 3 of the Fauci files, the breakdown of everything that was released by DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, her last day in office. We're going to do part 3. We're going to break that down sometime next week. And we're going to have part 1 of the China files. I don't know how I would put that into parts because there's a lot there. But yeah, we'll break it down and I'll be able to tell you everything that's going on with that. Because here's the thing. One of the really big things that was pointed out last night was the fact that media was taking money from China and reporting on certain things. Now, one, I was not offered that money.
No.
I want to know how much they were getting paid because a lot of the things I own were made in China, quite frankly. And no, obviously I wouldn't take the money. But I'm curious to know the who, the what, the whens, and the wheres, and the hows. I want to know how much.
I would have at least liked to been able to say no.
Here's right. See, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. Like even the stuff that's going on with like the money for like certain countries and stuff like that, like China obviously being one of them. That's how I know I haven't made it. Because I wasn't even offered.
I know.
You know, if I was offered, I'd say no. But it just, consider. Just consider me. That's all.
Allow me to say no, please.
Right. Right. I want to say no so then I could brag about how I said no. That's the main thing. You know what? Maybe that's why.
Probably why.
Because the moment that happened, I'd be coming out here and be going, you will never guess what so-and-so asked her. Yeah, I'd be
driving up in a new car.
Yeah, I'd be like an NFL referee blowing the whistle.
Oh, Deep State Jake's got a new car.
Dude, Deep State Jake is so funny.
I love that.
That text will forever make me laugh. But yeah, so and I'm gonna look into that side of it because I don't want to speculate about. I don't want to put like let's say because immediately obviously we jump to CNN and stuff like that. I don't want to say that that's for sure CNN, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to speculate on that, but we're gonna find out.
The problem with these massive file dumps like this
is that there's so much.
Yeah, and you can't get through it all before the next show.
Yeah,
you've got to spend a lot of time on this, and it's nice when other people do it. But then their slant is getting into it
right.
too. So you gotta kind of do it yourself.
Right. And yeah, and that's just it. Like and I try, even with the Fauci files, I try to give the most unbiased breakdown of it that I can. That's why I do all right, this is pages this and this and this. That's why I try to do that. And then I insert my opinion after.
Yeah.
Because I want you to hear it as I read it, what stuck out to me. The main thing. So, I mean, it has that slant on it, but I try as hard as I can to keep my opinion out of it. I really do.
At least while delivering the facts.
Yeah. And then, after that, once we start discussing it, then, absolutely. I'm going to tell you how crazy it is. Yeah. Because, I mean, that stuff's insane. And I'm sure that this stuff's going to be even crazier. I mean, he brought up the burn bags when he said, but I was on a video chat as it was happening, and he said burn bags, and there were a few people on the call, and we all went, finally, like he's okay. This is the guy that we voted for. Mm-hmm. This is it. This guy right here. Like I had shades of 2016 Trump last night, and I said, here it is. This is the stuff we need to be looking into. These are the priorities that we need to know. Because as I've said time and time, if people don't think that the elections actually matter, everything that we stand for is done.
Yep.
It's done. Because then at that point, it's going to be, well, this is the new law. Yeah, well, I didn't vote for him. I didn't elect him. That's not really the law. I'm not following that. And then you just have anarchy. You got a bunch of people losing their minds.
And tyranny. Because no one's voting for the right people, and people are just being installed
right
instead of voted in, and the will of the American people is being subverted.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
Yep.
And that's why, like, again, go back to the argument, oh, well, if the elections are rigged, how did Trump win in the last one? Well, because, again, we made it too big to rig. We had people motivated.
Well, yeah, and that's
and that needs to continue.
Yep.
The biggest election of your lifetime is the next one until we get everything fixed.
Yeah, I mean, so the next one will always be the most important. There's no way you're going to get everything fixed.
But I'm just saying, until we're taking steps to correct what is blatantly wrong with our election system.
Yep.
Until we get those issues that we see corrected, and there's always going to be issues, but until we get those that are blatantly obvious to everyone corrected, we have to continue to make it too big to rig.
Yeah, I was talking. This is one of the things that worry me is that we rely on the technology too much. And I'll give you an example. I won't say the who's or what's, but I will say this. I was talking to somebody who was at an event where there was a member of an elected official there, and they were talking about AI data centers and just AI in general. Mm-hmm. And he made the statement of, well, no, I mean, think about it. Any problem that we have with AI can fix it. And I'm like, right. And I go,
banging my head against the microphone.
Right. I go, and it was said, and I go, what? No, people will fix the problem. Opportunity for the people to fix it. AI is not going to know what the people need. Because as I said, it depends on who wrote the code. That's the scary. That's the thing that everybody has to remember with AI and using it for everything. Like if you use it as an assistant or as like Google to look stuff up, you're fine. But the people that rely on it to make everyday decisions.
Well, it's almost like saying you got a corrupt governor, so let's let the corrupt governor fix it.
Right.
No, that's not how this works.
Yeah, and it's so like we have to be very careful with the stuff with AI. And that's and like I said, I'm going to dive into the stuff that was released. We'll have a day where that's where we go through that, as well as the Fauci files, just because I love diving into that stuff and just breaking it down and being like, all right, here's the key points that were made here. This is what we need to watch. This is what could happen. I love doing that. That's like that side of investigative stuff that I could dive right into. And if it's all right there in front of me for the most part, I can maybe connect some dots and figure it out and maybe guess what's coming next. So that's where we stand with the President Trump speech last night. I mean, listen, it was a lot of people are going to say, oh, it's hearsay, it's all that. Read the documents. And like I said, I'm going to break it down that way when we have the debates that we do about it, when we're able to sit there, break it down. I'll give you I'll even, like I do with the Fauci files, this is the page number. This is what I did. And that way you have what you need. You have the ammo you need. Then when people are sitting there and talking back and forth about stuff and they start calling you outlandish names and start saying some wacky stuff to you, you could go, no. Page this, under this section, this is what it said here. One of the key quotes was, because that's what I feel like, and listen, you all do it for me too. When you text in, you drop some facts here and there. We're all just here helping each other build up that argument so we do a better job representing ourselves and our standpoints when we're in those debates. That's what all this is about. That's what we're doing. I'm helping you, and you help me each and every day. So I'm going to get all that information that I can for you, and we'll have a breakdown of it. When we come back, we're going to switch it up. I'm going to tell you, don't eat the lettuce at Taco Bell. Don't do that. So if you go to Taco Bell, get it without lettuce. I'm going to tell you why. And yes, it has to do with the parasite. I don't want you booming all over the place. It's not good. It makes for a bad day. I'll give you the details when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show.
what happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what
I'm untouchable, but I'm forcing you to feel me.
This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420.
Nice.
The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show. This is the final hour on this Open Lines Ohio. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Kenny Kid. Hello there, Kenny.
Hey.
How's it going, Kenny?
Good. Happy Friday.
Hey. you do it. You do it every week and every time. I just.
I know.
It's something.
I wasn't sure you were going to go to me early like that because it's been all morning. I've been waiting to use that one.
Yeah. We're well. Yeah. We're going to switch it up a little bit. If you have anything to add about what President Trump said, of course, as I said, it is Open Lines Ohio. We talk whatever you want, whenever you call. If you want to call in and add your 2 cents, but you know what? I think it's worth a lot more than that, quite frankly.
At least a nickel.
At least.
We're doing away with the penny.
No more pennies, so it's worth at least 5 cents. That number is 216-901-0945. And, yeah, call in. Call in and let us know what you think. And as I said, we're going to do a breakdown of the certain parts of things next week. It'll be a few parts worth of it. And we'll get you as much of the details on it as we can. That's what I'm going to do over the weekend. So something I will not be doing over the weekend is eating Taco Bell. Yesterday it came out the FDA and the CDC, everybody's coming out and they figured out where the parasite and why the parasite and just what's going on there. So if you were not aware, and we've spoken about it a few times here just because, it became national news, there is a parasite that gives people, for lack of a better term, and I'm actually, this is how the government is describing it also, explosive diarrhea. And it's something that's making people sick. They're losing weight, dehydration. Basically, it's an extreme case of E. coli. That's the best way to put it, the best way that I could put it. Some people have fever, achiness, dehydration, all these different things. So they figured it out. And it's not a joke. It's Taco Bell. I wish it was a joke.
Of course it is.
Like, to the point, somebody sent this to me last night. They go, "Did you see this?" And I thought it was a joke. I was looking to see if it was from The Onion. It is not from The Onion. This is real.
No, it's the lettuce.
Hey, wow.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Sorry.
All right. Take a breath, pal. Take a breath. That was really good, though. So the CDC has come out and they said, do not eat shredded iceberg lettuce served at Taco Bell locations in Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, Ohio, and West Virginia. So if you remember when we were talking about this, I said, here's the problem. You're bringing things in from other countries, whether it's people or it's food. They have certain standards that don't necessarily live up to our standards here in America. It's not an insult. It's just a fact of the matter. They live differently. They have different hygiene than we do. So you're going to have stuff like this happen. So Taylor Farms is who gives Taco Bell their lettuce. Taylor Farms is headquartered in California. It's right there. You're like, what are you talking about? That's not a foreign country yet. Fingers crossed. No, it is called the Salad Bowl of America. So like this is where a majority of the people get their lettuce from. Here's the problem. So according to the reporting and ongoing investigation, the shredded iceberg lettuce linked to Taco Bell was traced back to a supplier in Mexico through Taylor Farms supply chain. Taylor Farms headquarters are in California, but the lettuce involved was not grown in California. Investigators are tracing the produce through multiple farms and processing facilities. So that's according to the CDC. Now, to give you a number, because I know people are going, is this really that big of a deal? Now, when you realize it's 7,000 cases, which is a lot considering, a lot of people eat Taco Bell.
Yeah.
That's what that is. So, it's 7,000 since May 1st. That's enough for people to go, what's going on here? Especially given the symptoms, as I said, not great.
And that's what's reported. How many people had it or have it and don't even report because they just think it's part of the experience of ordering Taco Bell. I don't know.
That's a really good point, Kenny.
It's a valid point.
That is a good point. I mean, it is Taco Bell, and people know the side effects. So yeah, nearly 7,000 confirmed cases, or that are under investigation, and that's since May 1st. Some states have reported that at least 141 have been in the hospital because of this. So imagine, I mean, you're dehydrated. You're going through it. There, that's not just like chug some Powerade. You're going to be all right. You might need to get the Pedialyte or the Just Ingredients electrolytes to really make sure that you're good.
Or the IV.
So, with how extreme it sounds, and this whole story is ridiculous. But I mean, if it was like some like very niche food chain, I'm going to be honest with you. I had a cheat day earlier this week. I had Taco Bell, and it was a joke. Christine and Dale were in here, and it was a joke like, "Oh, you're going to get that parasite." I go, "Well, there's no lettuce on this because it wasn't." This week would have gone a lot differently had there been lettuce.
Oh yeah.
I was close. I survived. Okay, I'm a victim here.
You're a survivor.
That's right. So yeah, they're going to continue to do some of the tests on it. Taylor Farms produce, has also been linked to previous illness outbreaks, including E. coli cases tied to onions in 2024, and also this happened, just not as extreme with this parasite back in 2013. So I don't know, maybe 3 times in 15 years, we're averaging every 5 years, there seems to be a breakout of something. Might be time to switch up the supplier. Maybe go with a local person. I don't know. Go to Walmart.
No, but it's cheaper.
Well, yeah.
Who cares if every 5 years 7,000 people get sick?
Yeah, that's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. And I mean, considering, I don't know, how many people are going to Taco Bell? There's a lot of people that go to. There's a lot of people that live Moss.
I've cut back so much on going, but I used to go at least once a week. Or McDonald's. One of them.
Yeah, I do the cheat day of the let's get fast food every week and a half, 2 weeks, right around there ish, right around there. Unless it's McDonald's, then I get a coffee.
Well, I don't know, the McDonald's breakfast. I'll do at least once a week.
Yeah,
it's convenient.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the whole thing with fast food. What is inconvenient is getting sick from Taco Bell lettuce. So just be careful. Now, with that said, they're saying that they're replacing it. It's going to be replaced, I think they said, by today.
I would still give it at least a week or two.
Yeah, I give it a little bit because you're going to have those franchise owners that are going, well, I mean, nobody's gotten sick. Who here is eating the lettuce? No, then, I mean, it's okay then. I've worked at a Taco Bell. I know how that works. You're making sure that, labor's not that high. That's how that works. So... but yeah, just, be careful. If you're going to Taco Bell, maybe, skip the lettuce. Don't do that. Or ask them, hey, did you get the new supply in? Just ask them.
Yeah, they'll know.
Yeah, come
on.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be offended that you're asking, hey, is this lettuce going to make me feel like I want to die?
I'm offended that you think that the person taking your order is going to know or care.
Oh no, I think they would know.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, if you go because, like I said, I mean, I was a shift supervisor at 18. I would let my cashiers know. I'd make sure they knew. Hey, if somebody asks, yeah, we got the new lettuce.
Yeah, okay.
So that's back when I was an expediter. So very important job. That was. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, there's some updates on the flock cameras we're going to get to, but we're probably going to give the wildfire updates. I had Canadians coming at me last night. They were mad. They were mad.
So awesome.
And you know what? I'm fine with it. Be mad. Be mad all you want. I'll tell you guys about that when we come back. This is the Jake Underwood Show. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM, or you can watch us. We're on Rumble, X, and YouTube. Just search The Jake Underwood Show or go to jakeunderwoodshow.com to find all of that I just told you. Also, the podcasts are there, so you could find those there. Let's go to Robert in Strongsville. He wants to talk a little bit about the cameras. And what he's going to bring up, I've heard about, just haven't got the chance to talk about it with a bunch of stuff going on, so I'm excited he's bringing it up. Robert, you're in the air.
Yeah, there's 3 cities looking into this: Stockton, California, Cape Coral, Florida, and Dallas already has funding in place. And what they want to do is put cameras on garbage trucks. They're going to look at your house and see if you're breaking any city code violations. And once a week, you're going to be monitored. What do you think of that, Jake?
Oh, I hate that. I hate that a lot, actually. I mean, we're just getting closer and closer to a police state. It's not good.
Also, as far as the elections go, we have to keep in mind that even if somebody interfered, we're not going to have the end of the world here. We're just going to have the opposing party running the show for a while. It's not the end of the world. Now, we don't want that. We want integrity in elections, of course.
Yeah.
All right. And the third thing here, China. 10 years ago, I noticed China was interested in 3 things, which scared me. One was the Internet of Things. That's the connectivity between devices, like your hot water tank and so forth, and on a bigger level, your water systems and so forth. 2, they were interested in quantum computers. And with quantum computers, there is no encryption or password that is safe. It can break through anything. We know this. 3 is quantum entanglement. That is where one particle in the universe is affected by another particle, not dependent on distance or time. If you put all those 3 things together, you would have a tremendous weapon. You could control things down at the quantum level, and the game's over. They win.
Yeah. Robert, thank you for the call. Yeah.
That was nice and uplifting.
No, I mean, just to be on the lookout for it. No, to be on the lookout for it. Let's see. We have some texts coming in. We have from real quick about the cameras on garbage trucks. Yeah. That's
real, huh?
That's real. And then also there are reports coming out that with the flock cameras, because of how everything is connected, that there's it's almost like a modem. When you drive past, it connects, and it gets the reading on the car. It gets the reading on the cell phone.
Yeah,
it gets
probably grabs your data. And
I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there. You could think that I'm paranoid and I sound crazy, and accuse me of being whatever. But the way that the way that things are just going to automatically connect to stuff, the same way that if you have Spectrum, they have little internet hotspots all over the place. If you sign up for it, you sign into one, you sign into them all. Just remember that. That's all I'm saying.
Back to what Robert was saying real quick. Correct me if I'm wrong. He said that if there's it sounded like to me he alluded to if there's cheating, no big deal. It's just the other side in power for 4 years.
I don't know that he said it's not a big deal. The way that I understood,
well, he's saying it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, the way that I think he meant it, and the way that I understood it when he said it was, it's going to balance itself out.
Yeah, until it don't.
Well, and that's why we have to get ahead of it.
Yeah,
that's why we have to get ahead of it.
Until it don't. Until the wrong people get in power and transform the government into a police state that you can't get out of.
But I think the problem with that is that both sides are kind of pushing for the police state, just in different ways.
But you know what I'm saying, though. I mean, you look at what they were doing with COVID, and if that was to continue,
well, I mean,
it's not the end of the world until it is.
Right, correct. And I think, but here's the thing, and I think we learned this during COVID. It doesn't matter what side of government. If government can get control, they're going to take it. That's where
we have an obligation to not do that.
Oh, correct. Yes.
And we've got to safeguard against it the best we can.
Yes. And I agree with that.
We can't just say, "Oh, well, we'll punt the ball and we'll get it back at some point."
Yeah, but also,
what if you don't?
That's why
2-minute warning, you might not get it back.
Right,
ever.
That's why I want to look into the documents more to see what exactly is being said and what they're, what could be done about it. those are the next steps that come up. Let's see here. We do have some text to get to. This from Don in Lakewood. He said, it's already happening. The left is claiming that Trump's election interference evidence is just a distraction from the Epstein files.
Okay.
So I will say that
I'm just going to keep going back to that every single day. It's everything, anything that's done, anything that's said that paints them in a bad light, they're just going to go Epstein files.
Well, I mean, there is an update to the Epstein files stuff. There's a part 2 to the bill. I think it's going to be voted on. It should be soon. When that happens, we'll dive into that. It actually gives the state AG access to the information, which I think should happen. They should be able to prosecute locally.
Absolutely.
Somebody else texted in and said, "Hey Jake, are you old enough to remember why Chi-Chi's, the Mexican restaurant, closed down? Very similar problems with the Onions. Their workers in Mexico, their workers in Mexico go potty right out in the fields. It's gross. Oh my goodness, that's not good."
Right, picking the lettuce with their feet. Too.
I do remember when Chi-Chi's closed. I was sad. I liked Chi-Chi's.
I loved Chi-Chi's.
Yeah,
Chi-Chi's
was good.
Great.
Yep. Somebody texted in this from the 216. They said, the Mexican farm workers need to stop taking a leak on the lettuce fields. And then someone else, another 216, they said, I'd be interested to know how many cases there are in Mexico. Would they know? Not asking to be funny. I'm just curious. I mean, are they eating their own lettuce down there?
Well, and if that's something that, I mean, that they just might be immune to it by now.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah, we'll look into that. We have a break coming up. I'll look into that because now I am curious if the same thing's going on in Mexico. Okay, as I said, I got into it with I had Canadians coming after me last night. Those nasty Canucks, they were coming after me. And I'll tell you what happened.
Canuck yourself.
So Bernie Moreno yesterday, he texted out and he said, not texted out, he tweeted, posted. Yes, he X'd it. He said, we need to do something about this wildfire smoke. I think some sanctions are in order. Sanctions need to happen. And all I did was I reposted and I said, thank you, Bernie Moreno. Because I think that's fair. Because I don't know if you've seen the videos of Cedar Point. It's smoked out.
It's insane.
It's absolutely smoked out.
Look out your window,
That too. Yeah, it's still, we got the orange haze going on here. I feel like we live in Southern California at this point. So, I say that, and I had this Canadian, they just started, they were mad. They were real mad. And so they're going, so because what this did, and it was more than one Canadian, that's the best part. It was a few. And I went, oh, okay, this is how they feel. Oh, okay, great. So because it was like 10, 15 people that came at me, I only responded to like 2 or 3 of them. But they're like, for what? An unnecessary rage bait bill. It's like your neighbor's house being on fire, and instead of offering to do something to help fix the problem, you walk over there and say, I'm going to sue you because you're making me cough a little bit. And then they said, blank you to me. Yeah, well, that's crazy. All I said was thank you to my senator. So at that point, they're mad. And so then I, very politely, I point out the fact that their country had over 3,000 wildfires this year. They have 850 happening currently. And I ask them to get off of X, go grab a rake, and go rake up some dead leaves and pick up the dead trees.
That's not unreasonable.
No, I don't think it's unreasonable at all. To which they said, because I want you to realize this is the attitude that they have towards Americans. They said, we already do that, you idiot. And then they go on to talk about what is it?
Hectares.
Hectares. Well,
I think it's hectares.
Hectares. We speak in acres around here, pal. This here be America.
Yeah.
And so, they go through, they send me the guidelines of what they do in Canada, which is, they make sure they want to thin. It's called thinning. That's the fuel management to make sure that, they go out there, they remove dead wood and all that. And, they make investments to make sure that this doesn't happen. Plus there's national efforts, to which I told them, okay, that's great. Oh, also they said it's not as simple as President Pedo says.
Oh.
Yeah, they got to take a shot. To which I replied, I said, this has nothing to do with the president. And given your country's history, you have no room to talk. And then I asked them very politely, I said, did you rake yet? Mm-hmm. Can you send me a screenshot of you outside raking the leaves to stop the spread of the wildfire? And Don in Lakewood's going to like this because he alluded to it, which is why I wanted to bring this up. They said, oh, please, Iran is a distraction from Epstein. Greenland and Canada is a distraction from Iran. Iran is a distraction from Epstein again. And they said, and if we're discussing things that go over the border, what are you going to do about the epidemic of illegal American guns killing my Canadian people? To which I asked, maybe you need to build a wall for security? Build a wall, Canada. You'd be doing us a favor. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break, get a check on traffic. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer. It is the final half an hour of this Friday edition of the Jake Underwood Show. It is Friday, July 17th, 2026. Friday means it's an Open Lines Ohio. We talk whatever you want, whenever you call. We've actually discussed a lot. We did about an hour and a half, 2 hour breakdown of everything that happened last night with President Trump, what he had to say when it comes to China, and certain members of the media maybe getting paid to kind of sweep this under the rug. People getting gift cards about voting, and just this is the main thing that people need to remember about this. Last night, the only time it got divided about a political party is when he brought up, the 2020 election, when he spoke about himself. Everything else, it was pretty nonpartisan.
Yeah.
And at one point he even said that. I didn't mark it in the file there. But at one point he even alluded to that, where he's like, this isn't an issue that's just Republican, or this is an election issue. And that's what really needs to, I feel like that's what we have to start realizing on some of these things, that it's not necessarily a right or left issue. Or, if you're left leaning, just because somebody on the right supports it doesn't mean that you can't support it. And the same goes for left versus right. An example of that is the flock camera stuff. There are people from all different sides coming out and going, the flock camera stuff, it doesn't make any sense. It does not make any sense. By the way, Cleveland Council, they voted to continue the flock camera contract. They went to 6 months,
of course,
$125,000. They excuse me, they had spoke about it. They voted Wednesday to renew the contract of the flock camera safety through December 29th. The company behind the 100 license plate reader cameras currently operating across the city, with more than 1,000 flock cameras situated across Cuyahoga County. Hello, that's a scary thought. That doesn't sit right with me.
Not at all.
And I know I've said this time and time again about the flock cameras, but I'm going to keep saying it until it clicks, because we got to watch out for this. Because as I said, if this becomes a normal thing, 10 years from now, there's going to be cameras everywhere. And we did nothing about it. That's not the way we live life here. Because then they're watching you all the time. Then they got a file on you. And like I said, I'm not saying this to sound like paranoid guy. I'm pointing this out because this is the way that it goes. So yeah, they extended it for 6 months, $125,000. They're going to try to get this all over the place. This is going to be an OWACA thing. They're going to sit there and try to get it all over. I'm just telling you now. This is going to be Mayor Bibb's going to talk about how great it works in Cleveland and how we have to spread it all throughout the region to all these different counties. And it's not good. I'm going to tell you, They should be there to assist. They should be there to assist. That's the main thing. And because I don't want people to think that I'm just completely against it. Not necessarily. If we had the right amount of police, I don't know that we would need the flock cameras. But, here's the thing, and two things can be true about the same thing. Does it help the police? Yes. Does it also take us one step closer to a police state? Yes. Two things can be true about something. And I brought it up the other day during the after show, the last one that we did. It was pointed out that there's a group that's a socialist group, and they're against the flock cameras, and they're against him because of the stuff that happens with the flock cameras with immigration. But either way, they're against the flock cameras. I'm against the flock cameras not because of the immigration stuff, but because of the fact that no matter what, you're always being watched. You're always being watched, and you're hearing the stuff about the technology in these things, where it can connect automatically to an open Wi-Fi. Whether you know it or not, your car's Wi-Fi is always available. If you have a smart car, if you have a car that's a newer car, go to your phone, pull up the Wi-Fi settings. You can connect to your car. So it's there. It's discoverable. It's something that technology can connect to, whether it's Bluetooth, whatever it might be. So as I said, two things can be true. It can help the police, but it can also lead to something that is worse down the line. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. Let's go to Geza. Geza, you're in the air.
Morning.
Good morning.
I got two things. One with this camera nonsense. Where is the ACLU in this whole thing? Why haven't they spoken up and started taking cities to court to get these cameras thrown away?
That's a great question. Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that. I'm jotting
I
that
have
down
not
now.
heard a peep out of them people. Usually they jump on this kind of stuff to get them eliminated. So I don't understand why they're so quiet.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great point. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that, and I'll report on that as soon as I get some info.
And the other thing is, I don't know if you know where University Heights is, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, they're doing a big reconstruction project on Warrensville Center Road. And I found out from the construction guys what they're doing. They're taking a 5-lane road, 5 lanes of traffic, and they're whittling it down to 2 lanes total, 1 lane in each direction with a center turn lane. They're putting in 2 lanes of parking on the outside and then 2 lanes of bike paths. We never see any freaking bicyclists there. Well, that's only part of the problem. The other problem is the Cleveland Water Department. So they're doing this construction. There are 2 water leaks. The Water Department has been notified. They have not come out. One has been there for over a year.
Where are these leaks at?
One's at Warrensville and Meadowbrook.
Okay.
And the other one just started the other day right in front of Whole Foods on Warrensville Center. And the guy said, you know, if the water department's not going to take care of it, we're just going to have to pave over it because we can't stop our project.
Wow.
And then they're going to have to come back and rip it all up.
Right.
When the street caves in. I mean, what kind of idiots are running the water department?
Oh.
You know, they need to come out and take care of this stuff. And this is the city and the construction company calling them to notify them, and they're like blowing them off.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I can't.
Going on?
I can't even wrap my head around. Yeah, we're just going to pave over it.
And then why do we need bike paths on a main road like that?
Listen, the bike path stuff. I don't understand that either.
It's infuriating.
Yeah,
it's stupid bike paths.
That's why I think we almost need a state amendment to the Ohio Constitution to ban bike lanes, mainly on state routes and U.S. routes, because that nonsense that they just opened up in Sandusky. I don't know if you followed it on the Monday night roundtable because they had a one-night thing on it. Kenny probably remembers. They took out most of these people's front yards to put in this bike lane on Route 6.
That's it's uncalled for.
So the road is like within 10 to 15 feet of their front door.
Yeah.
On Route 6 out there.
Wow.
Yeah. That's the nonsense that's going on.
That's great. Geza, thank you.
People need to wake up.
Yep. Geza, thank you for the call. Have a great weekend. That's insane. Let's see. Somebody texted in. They said, with 1,000 flock cameras, they said, that's a flock camera for every 1.26 square miles. If there are $1,000 of them in the county, that's pretty crazy. Wow. Yeah, no. So if there's 1,000 of them in the county, like that report said, that's one every 1.26 square miles.
It's insane. It's a blanket coverage right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, someone texted in and said, Jake, what's the difference from the government having cameras or your neighbors having front porch cameras and any shopping plaza having cameras at every business? Well, the main difference, at least in my opinion, and I want to make sure I say this, I don't have a Ring doorbell camera. I don't have anything like that. So like when I'm saying this, I'm saying it because this is something that I practice. I not only preach. To me, the main difference is this. The government does not have access to it. If they want access to it, they either have to ask, or if you say no, they have to get a warrant for it. With this, you don't know if they're getting the information or not. When it comes to the businesses having one, I don't necessarily like how many cameras there are in a business. I mean, you have some Walmarts, they walk around with body cams on now.
Mm-hmm. But again, private property.
And that's the main thing. It is private property. And if you want to have one at your home, that is your decision. I mean, if they really wanted to go about this the right way, they should be having people vote on at each location and have the people in that area vote on it.
Yeah.
Or have the people that commute through that area vote on it. This just it does not sit right with me. It really doesn't. And to be honest, I don't necessarily like the cameras up in every business or anything like that. But you like Kenny just pointed out, it is private property. But the main difference is, do those cameras automatically connect to things? Is government money going into that Ring doorbell that could be spent elsewhere? Because it's also wasteful government spending on top of it. I'd rather that money go to the police so they could hire more officers or update the stuff that they have. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with the final segment, put a bow on the show, and take some more calls right after this.
should be able to agree that we deserve the most secure, honest, and fair election system anywhere in the world. Secure elections should be a partisan, we should be together. Democrats, Republicans, independents, everybody. And it should not be a partisan issue. It should cause to unite us, not to divide us. This should be a cause. We should be united, not divided.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show. That, of course, President Trump last night talking about the different evidence, the different documents that are starting to pile up that have been released to find out, what's going on here with these elections. Now, I do want to point out, that's funny that you found that clip, because I also have found a clip during the break here. You'll know the voice as soon as you hear her shrilling. This was from MSNBC about 9 years ago.
The only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right. And not only that, China, if you're listening, why don't you get Trump's tax returns? I'm sure our media would richly reward you.
Thank you, Hillary Clinton and Rachel Maddow.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. Just let that stew there for a little bit. Just let that sit. How do we feel about that? How do we feel about that one? I had to remember if that was a fever dream that I had that was said, or if I remembered it. And luckily, I mean, it's starting to come back. So as soon as I looked, as soon as I looked up, Rachel Maddow, Hillary Clinton, that popped up. I went, there it is. I remember.
I don't remember hearing that.
Oh, yeah, no, I remember hearing that. One more time for the people in the
please.
back. This is Hillary Clinton talking with Rachel Maddow. This is about 8-9 years ago.
The only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right. And not only that, China, if you're listening, why don't you get Trump's tax returns? I'm sure our media would richly reward you.
Please, China, hack into our systems and find out those tax returns, and our media will rejoice and praise you, China.
And rig our elections for us, please.
Yes, yeah, oh yeah, do that too. Because why should the Russians have all the fun? I went to the Chinese president and I asked, why am I not 50 points ahead, you might ask?
Stop.
Oh my goodness, that woman. Listen, Bill deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for not losing his mind. Just saying. And, and she's doing the thing where she has her eyes squinted and she's moving her head around. That's one of the only people that I can hear. I can hear her voice and I can know exactly what her face looks like and the head movements. And I just, oh my goodness. Did you see that clip where the light almost fell on her in 92?
Yes. I know. So close.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go to AC on this Open Lines, Ohio. AC, you're in the air.
Hi, Jake. Last week, beginning of the week, you had I think Jim called about Meriwether Lewis.
Yes.
And how he got captured by the Indians, the Blackfeet Indians, and they took all his clothes and they gave him a 20-minute head start, and he wound up in front of a beaver lodge.
Yes.
Okay. So here's my what two questions did the beavers ask Meriwether Lewis as he was standing out in the cold? Have any idea?
I do now. What were they?
Okay. First one was, are you a member of our lodge?
Okay.
And the second one was, do you have a valid ID?
AC, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now, one more thing real quick.
Yes.
Meriwether Lewis historically died at 35.
Okay.
He didn't live. That's when he died. So he didn't live that long.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I just wanted to share that with you.
That's great. AC, thank you for the call, and I hope you have a great weekend. I liked it.
I was waiting for a punchline on the last one.
Are you a member of the lodge? And they asked for his ID. That's funny. I actually really. You know what? It's going to be what I'm going to hear that again in a few years, and I'm going to laugh because I'll forget. But I hope I remember because that's actually a very good joke. I really like that joke. It's going to be one of I hear it later on. I'm going to like giggle to myself when I'm cutting up the show and everything. Thank you for the call, AC. I liked it. You know what I don't like?
What?
Hillary Clinton.
Oh, I agree.
I'm going to play one more time, just so we can hear it.
Stop.
No, just so we could hear it, because I want to remind everybody that she would never do it. She would never do it. But if she did, it's like the OJ book. Yeah. I didn't do it, but if I did, this is how I would do it. Let's take a listen one more time.
The only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right. And not only that, China, if you're listening, why don't you get Trump's tax returns? I'm sure our media would richly reward you.
How about that? Former Secretary of State, former Senator, former First Lady, asking a foreign government to get involved with our elections because she couldn't handle the fact that in 2016 she lost. That's what that was. She's all giddy. That's why she's got that tone about her, because I don't care about the will of the people. I care about the will of the Hillary. That's what she's all about. How about that?
I can't believe you played it again.
No, well, what I want to know, what would the outrage be
if Trump said that?
If let's say Trump was sitting down with 2020, that would have been Tucker. That would have been Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He's sitting across from Tucker on his set there at Fox, and if he went, what we need to do is get the Russians involved. We know that China likes to be involved with the elections. We need to get Russia involved. Maybe I'll call Putin. People would be losing their minds. They would absolutely lose their minds. So just remember, you know what? In fact, if you want to find that clip, Jake Underwood 92 on X, I just retweeted it. So it's there. If you want to watch it, you get to see her hair gets higher with all the lies. That's where she keeps all her secrets. This has been the Jake Underwood Show.
She probably bleached it, too.
Yeah, well, just like her phone. No, this has been the Jake Underwood Show. We do have the after show today. If you head over to Rumble, watch there. Because of this was pretty big news, we'll try to take some phone calls during the after show. We'll give that a shot. Tell someone about Jesus today. We'll see you on Rumble with the after show. Just look up the Jake Underwood Show. We'll see you there, and we'll be back Monday. We'll talk to you then.